You wake up tired, rush through your day, check off tasks one after another, and still go to bed feeling like you got nothing meaningful done. You're always busy, always moving, yet somehow you're not getting any closer to the life you actually want. Sound familiar? You're not alone. Most people today feel trapped in this constant state of busyness, always doing something, always occupied, always working on something. But deep down, there's a quiet frustration, because being busy doesn't feel like progress. It feels like survival. You wake up, react to the day, deal with whatever comes your way, and before you know it, the day is gone. And you tell yourself, I'll focus tomorrow. But tomorrow looks exactly the same, and this cycle repeats, day after day, week after week, year after year, until one day you stop and ask yourself, why am I always busy but never moving forward? That question is powerful because it forces you to confront something most people avoid, the truth. And here it is. Being busy is not the same as being productive. Let that sink in. Just because you're doing a lot doesn't mean you're doing what matters. In fact, busyness can be the biggest distraction of all. It gives you the illusion of progress. It makes you feel like you're working hard. But in reality, you might just be running in circles. Think about your day. How much of it is intentional and how much of it is reactive? How much time do you spend on things that truly move your life forward, and how much time is spent responding to noise? Messages, notifications, random tasks, unplanned interruptions. All of it feels urgent, but not all of it is important. And that's where most people lose control. They let urgency decide their day instead of priority. And when urgency takes over, your time gets filled with things that don't matter. Your energy gets drained by things that don't grow you, and your focus gets scattered across things that don't build your future. So you end up busy, but not effective. Now here's the shift. What if your problem is not that you don't have time, but that you're not protecting it? What if you're not overwhelmed, but overexposed? Too many inputs, too many distractions, too many demands on your attention, and not enough clarity. Because when you don't decide what matters, everything starts to feel important. And when everything feels important, you end up doing everything, except the one thing that actually changes your life. That's the trap. Now let's go deeper. Busyness is often a form of avoidance. It's uncomfortable to admit, but it's true. Sometimes staying busy is easier than facing what really matters. It's easier to reply to emails than to work on your goals. It's easier to scroll than to sit in silence and think. It's easier to handle small tasks than to take on something meaningful that requires effort. Because meaningful work is hard. It requires focus. It requires discipline. It requires you to confront your limits. And most people avoid that. Not because they're incapable, but because it's uncomfortable. So they fill their day with low-value tasks, things that feel productive but aren't transformative. And at the end of the day, they feel exhausted but not fulfilled. Busy but not proud. Active but not progressing. Now ask yourself honestly, are you busy or are you effective? Because those are two very different lives. One keeps you moving, the other moves you forward. And this is where the first real lesson begins. You must learn to separate movement from progress. Movement is doing things. Progress is doing the right things. Movement fills your time. Progress changes your life. Most people chase movement. Few people commit to progress, because progress requires clarity. It forces you to decide, what actually matters in my life? And once you answer that, everything else becomes noise. But that's where the challenge begins, because saying no is hard. Saying no to distractions, saying no to unnecessary tasks, saying no to things that feel urgent but aren't important. It requires discipline, it requires courage, and most importantly, it requires self-respect. Because every time you say yes to something that doesn't matter, you're saying no to something that does. Your time is limited. Your energy is limited, and if you don't control where it goes, someone else will. That's the reality. Now, here's the second lesson. Focus is your greatest asset. Not time, not talent. Focus. Because what you focus on grows. If your focus is scattered, your results will be scattered. If your focus is intentional, your results will be powerful. But focus is under attack every day from every direction. Apps are designed to steal it. Notifications are designed to break it. Content is designed to consume it. And if you don't protect it, you lose it. And when you lose focus, you lose direction. And when you lose direction, you become busy without purpose. This is where most people get stuck. They try to manage time, but ignore focus. They try to do more instead of doing less better. And that's why they feel overwhelmed, because they're spreading themselves too thin, doing too many things, none of them deeply. And what comes next is the realization that changes everything. Because once you realize this, you start seeing your life differently. You stop asking, how can I do more? And you start asking, what should I stop doing? That question changes everything. Because the truth is, your life is not controlled by what you add, it's controlled by what you remove. Every distraction you eliminate gives you clarity. Every unnecessary task you cut gives you time. Every meaningless habit you drop gives you energy. And suddenly, you're no longer drowning in busyness. You're creating space. Space to think. Space to focus. Space to actually move forward. This leads to the next lesson. Clarity is more valuable than motivation. Most people wait to feel motivated before they take action, but motivation is temporary. It comes and goes. Clarity stays. When you're clear about what matters, you don't need to feel like doing it. You just do it because you understand the cost of not doing it, and that cost is your future. Now, imagine this. Two people wake up in the morning. Both have the same 24 hours. One starts their day reacting, checking their phone, replying to messages, jumping from one task to another. Busy all day, but at the end, nothing meaningful is done. The other starts with intention. They know their priorities, they know their focus, they protect their time. They might do fewer things, but those few things change everything. That's the difference. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters consistently. Now, here's where it gets uncomfortable. If you're always busy, there's a chance you're avoiding responsibility for your direction, because being busy gives you an excuse. It allows you to say, I don't have time. But the truth is, you do have time. You just don't have priorities. And that's a hard truth to accept, because it puts the responsibility back on you, not your schedule, not your workload, not your circumstances. You. And that's where your power is. Because if you are the one choosing how to spend your time, then you are also the one who can change it. Starting today. Starting now. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need more hours. You need better decisions. Decide what matters most. Decide what can wait. Decide what doesn't belong in your life anymore. And then, act on it. Even if it feels uncomfortable. Even if it feels slow. Because real progress is not loud. It's quiet. It's focused. It's consistent. And over time, it compounds. Now think about your life 1 year from now. If you keep living the same way, always busy, always reacting, always distracted, where will you be? Probably in the same place. Same stress, same frustration, same feeling of being stuck. But if you change your approach, if you choose focus over distraction, clarity over chaos, priority over urgency, where could you be? More in control, more confident, more aligned with your goals. That's the power of intentional living. It doesn't just change your schedule, it changes your life. So stop wearing busyness like a badge of honor. Stop telling yourself that being busy means you're doing well, because being busy is easy. Anyone can fill their day, but being effective, that takes awareness. That takes discipline. That takes courage. Courage to slow down and face what truly matters. Because deep down, you already know. You know the things you've been avoiding. You know the goals you've been delaying. You know the distractions that are holding you back. You don't need more information. You need action. Clear, focused, intentional action. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, don't ask, how can I do more? Ask a better question. What actually matters right now? And then commit to it. Fully. Without distraction, without excuses. Because your life is not built by how busy you are. It's built by what you focus on. And if you can master your focus, you can take control of your direction. And if you take control of your direction, you take control of your life. So choose wisely. Not everything deserves your time. Not everything deserves your attention. And not everything deserves your energy. But the right things, the meaningful things, the things that actually move your life forward, they deserve your full focus. Because in the end, it's not about how much you did, it's about what you became by doing what truly matters.